in your bed. I'm sure by now you're feeling so low, looking at our photos, wishing you and I still fit. And I'm sorry that I'm like this. It's not your fault that I was messed up before. That's why I'm leaving so fast. When you blink, I'll be gone out the door. 'Cause yeah, I steal your heart, cold, you feel it come and go. Leave you high and low, so low. Yeah, I steal your heart, cold, it's gone before you know. Leave you high and low, so low, low, low. Why'd you go and label this? When from the start I told you not to do that shit. And now these expectations feeling suffocated. You knew it would end like this. And I'm sorry that I'm like this. It's not your fault that I was messed up before. That's why I'm leaving so fast. When you blink, I'll be gone out the door, out the door. 'Cause yeah, I steal your heart, cold, you feel it come and go. Leave you high and low, so low. Yeah, I steal your heart, cold, it's gone before you know. Leave you high and low, so low, low, low. And I'm sorry that I'm like this. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm like this. It's not your fault. No, it's not your fault. And I'm sorry that I'm like this. It's not your fault that I was messed up before. That's why I'm leaving so fast. When you blink, I'll be gone out the door. 'Cause yeah, I steal your heart, cold, you feel it come and go. Leave you high and low, so low, low. Yeah, I steal your heart, cold, it's gone before you know. Leave you high and low, so low, low, low.
We've been kings and queens. We've loved thieves and angels. We dream stranger things, never quite the way it seems. We speed through these lights. We get high on danger, only to get by. Tell me if you feel alive. I hear sirens calling out my name, like a ocean waiting for the rain. I don't know where we're going, but I know that it feels right. This life is so incredible. last forever. Chasing fading skies, watching all the stars collide. I hear sirens calling out my name, like a ocean waiting for the rain. I don't know where we're going, but I know that it feels right. This life is so incredible. We wake up for the night. We wake up for the night. We wake up for the night.
All these thoughts are running through my head. I can't control it, they are taking me down with them. Wish I knew why I am haunted. It would be easier to try and start again, and I'd feel like new in a world.
Hello, guys, and welcome to the Valanth League playoff semi-finals. I am your host and solo caster today, Byron Villa, and we have Hentai Haven taking on the incredibly strong Slow Bros. So, story of these teams. The Slow Bros, they topped Group A and were the first seed coming into the playoffs, and they have proceeded to look dominant since then. They have 2-0'd 100 Cobra, the hopefuls from Group B, and now they're looking to step and get rid of another Group B opponent, being Hentai Haven. Now, Hentai Haven, they had a little bit of a tougher path getting to this playoff semi-final. They had to go through this to be decided, and in that match, it was a 3-game series down to the wire, and Hentai Haven were just able to edge it out. So these two teams getting here on very, very different standings. However, I don't know how much that affects this match today, because whilst the Slowbros have looked so impenetrable, if Hentai Haven could bring anything, it is that X factor, that wacky strategy that you're not expecting. And I imagine that whilst the Slowbros are certainly the favourites to come out in this matchup, Hentai Haven have so many tricks up their sleeve, and especially now that they've brought in Impress as their coach, they've looked fantastic. So I have to say, this match is probably a lot closer than a lot of people are anticipating. And so I'm really excited to see, especially how this pick ban goes, considering that Yumi has now been unbanned from the tournament. So we'll see if any of the teams put any priority on that pick. However, we are just waiting for the game to get into Champ Select. We do have a little bit of time to talk about the players themselves, though. One big matchup I really want to talk about is the bottom lane. Duragai and C7 have pretty easily been considered the best bot lane in the tournament, I'd say. They have looked incredibly dominant. They're extremely consistent. I don't think I've seen these guys lose lane hard, I'll be honest. And they're going against Dana and Rani, or well, Cute Rugged Boy and Untalkable, who are a bot lane who have been inconsistent at times, but their synergy is unparalleled. They've played together for a hell of a lot of time, so I'm excited to see how this bot lane goes, because it should be that Duragai and C7 have the advantage, they'll be able to win, but once again, we have seen Hentai Haven pull out some fun picks. We talked about the Yumi, of course, being available now in Champ Select, but also other picks to talk about is that Cute Rugged Boy is a big fan of the mage picks in the bot lane. He does like to blast them out every now and then. I could see them trying to pull that card against the Slowbros bot lane, maybe try and throw them off that way. The bans have been firing out though, and that's about 3 support bans, and the Lux going to go from Florio alongside the Viger, and then the Tristana ban from Durugai. So a lot of different bands being fired around here, but what I'm seeing is that the Hentai Haven crew really don't want these engaged champions from the Slowbros. They've banned Tristan, they've banned Galio, they've banned Pike. They're both all these champions are incredibly mobile, can get onto you. It signals that Hentai Haven want to play a safe early game where they can move into the mid game and get rid of that big power spike. However, the Snowballers have noticed that you want to get rid of engage from us, and they're like, okay, we're picking Fresh, we're picking Vi, we are going to engage, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Now, they have looked in Tarek though, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Tarek Sona from this bot lane of Cooper Gibbo Adorkable. But another strategy that I wouldn't be surprised to see him to have put out is Funnel. It has been popping up recently. We did see it in the LEC finals with G2 picking it up, and the Tarek is a very good pick in that Funnel strategy. So it could be Son of Tarek, which is what I'm expecting. Could be that Funnel strat. It could just be a Tarek pick, and I'm just overthinking it. But we'll have to see. Is Syndra going to be blind picked in this mid lane? Surprising one for me. It isn't typically the champion you want to blind pick, especially when champions like Vladimir are available to pick into it. And so the fact that they wanted to put so much emphasis on getting that mid pick taken away means that they really want counter pick in top lane, and they want to give themselves some sort of AD carry that they can pick into and surprise the Stobros, hopefully. But I really like this Vladimir. I had the pain slash pleasure of playing against Rapante's Vladimir, and it was an incredibly strong pick for him. I have to commend him. He did pilot it well, and if he can put a similar performance up this game, the Slowbros could look incredibly strong. Another pick that interests me, though, is this Graves that's been picked up in the jungle. It's not typically seen, and the reason is because he's incredibly squishy and struggles to get to the point in the game where he can be doing all the damage he wants to. So I do initially worry, especially against such a big mid-game focused composition that has the Fresh, that has the Vine. It's going to have another pick soon alongside that Vladimir. Taking a quick look at the second set of bans, the Sona has been banned away from the Sona Tarek, as I was expecting, and also Ezreal being stuck away from Cute Rugged Boys. So they have shown they want to do aggression in the spot lane. They've banned away the safe picks like Sona, like Ezreal, and now they've locked in a Lucian Fresh bottom lane. Durugai and C7, I detailed this earlier, they are looking to win this lane. They are incredibly consistent, and you're expecting these guys to pop off. And on Lucian Fresh, they are set up to do so. However, Aatrox going to be picked up for Hero Complex in the top lane, and Jinx will round out the composition in AD carry. What surprised me, they didn't really use this Tarek pick. I was expecting them to have some sort of, I don't want to say janky, but some fun way to use it, maybe in a funnel, maybe in Solar Tarek, but they didn't choose to opt for that, and Tarek on his own is quite a weak pick, especially into something like a Lucian Fresh P6, because he doesn't have the range to really combat them, and his stun isn't big enough to ward off a Lucian Fresh engage, and so I do really worry for Adorkable and Cute Rugged Boy in the bot lane. I don't see them really winning out. They have to be so careful of the Lucian Fresh, and alongside a possible Vi gank, and they could be put behind incredibly hard. But let's take a brief moment and look at the team compositions overall. And what you see is two fairly similar compositions, just in different areas. So Slowbros certainly have early to mid game covered. They have the Vi, the Lucian, the Fresh, all this early engaged damage. Urgot too is something to snuff out in the early game. And then coming into the mid game, they have Vladimir scaling up, going to be a huge problem for the side of Hentai Haven to deal with. And this catch that they have could really throw off Hentai Haven. If they're able to get those picks early game, we've seen it before from the Slowbros, they can snowball it incredibly hard. However, we look on the opposite side, and they do have ways to counter this catch. They have the Aatrox, who, if he is able to turn around those plays, is super hard to deal with, super hard to kill. We have Tarek, who's able to link up with a carry, get that Cosmic Radiance down, and negate any sort of picks from happening. And with picks like Syndra and Graves, they can certainly take advantage of this early game if they're able to. Now, specific matchups, if we hold on them, as a recent role swap, unfortunately, I'm not a huge expert on mid lane anymore, but we can have a look at the matchup. It is Syndra versus Vladimir, and you're seeing how this matchup is supposed to go through the summoner spells. Florio, he's took the Ignite, he's going to be looking for kill pressure. Whilst Vladimir does have the pull, and that makes it hard for Syndra to use her ultimate incredibly effectively, if she's able to get her damage down pre-6, if she's able to constantly harass Rapunzel out of lane, the pressure that Syndra can put down can be too much for Vladimir to deal with. And you can shut out that big mid-game power spike and delay it that good 5-10 minutes that you really need to if Hentai Heaven wants to win this game. Whereas on Vladimir's side, you are simply looking to survive this lane. You know that Syndra has the ignite, has the kill pressure. You just need to sit there, farm up, chill out. If a gank happens, cool, we'll take it, we'll kill her. But Rapante's win condition here isn't a hard win lane. He can make some roams happen, especially with that teleport he has available, but he shouldn't be looking for the hyper engage. He shouldn't be looking to force him off Florio because he doesn't need to, as is Vladimir. Another matchup I want to hold on, didn't really have a chance to talk about is Aatrox into Urgot. Now, this matchup, I remember it being played a lot back at the end of Season 8 at Worlds. It was pretty much always picked, and it's considered a fairly even matchup from most people. It is. I would still certainly consider it a skill matchup. Urgot a lot more tanky, but Aatrox able to dish out that little bit more damage. Now, what Urgot has over Aatrox now is that it used to be that Aatrox's ultimate would negate what Urgot's kill pressure, because Urgot would fire the ult, Aatrox would go properly ult, he'd go in and he'd stay alive. Whereas this time, Aatrox's ult doesn't do that. He needs the kill in order to survive, and so there is a slight advantage there for Urgot if Kuki wants to exploit it. Now, we talked about the bot lane earlier on in the draft, so the one matchup we haven't talked about, let's move our eyes towards the jungle, Graves versus Vi. Now, gonna be honest, haven't seen Graves in an incredibly long time, so I can't say I'm the most educated in terms of this pick. What I do know is that he does have a decent amount of damage, but that's a little bit of a worry because Graves is very squishy in the jungle. He's almost like a Kindred who doesn't scale as hard, but has that slightly better early spike. Well, I'm looking on the other side, though, was a great pick into the Graves. It's Vi. Now, what Vi is able to do is gank, which is always a pain, but also her dueling is incredibly strong. I feel like if we do see Tartus out of position and he gets caught out by a Vi Q, he's just kind of gone. Vi has that incredible burst potential, but also if Graves is able to get the jump, it's going to be Tartus to win. So the dueling in the jungle is going to be fairly even. Whilst Graves is going to have the faster clear, we're going to see Vi have the better ganks. So I'm optimistic to see cautiously optimistic to see how this Graves goes, but I think I have to say that Dragos certainly has a big pick in this Vi. It's something he loves to play, and if he's going to be looking to make something happen, he's able to do so on this champion. I'm expecting a lot of his attention to go down bot lane. Duragai and C7 really need to get ahead in this matchup, and if they're able to do so, they snowball. But if they don't, they get forced out of the game. So, key matchup here, definitely the bot lane. I'd bring your eyes down there and see what we can see. Nice little sip of water there as we head into Summoner's Rift for our first game of the series. Everyone are loading in the Slowbros. They have a very, very good record coming into these playoffs. They are certainly the favorites, but can they uphold this? Whereas on Hentai Haven, it's their chance to prove themselves. A lot of people don't really rate Group B, though they dismiss a lot of these teams. And it's Hentai Haven's chance now to take it to the Slowbros, to make the plays happen, to take down this huge, phenomenal team from Group A and prove that Group B aren't as bad as anyone says. We are seeing fairly standard starts here, though. Typical 5-pointer. What I do like is that C7's sitting in this bush here, so when one walks up, they get hooked. Uh-oh. But it's mainly standard. We're still going to be looking at that Vi. Has to be eyes on Dragos in the bot lane. I'm expecting Erdogan to come down. First blood going over to Duragai, and that's exactly the situation you want to avoid as Hentai Haven. If you're cute rugged boy, you need to look at what's happening here about cute rugged boy and adorable. Look at the Slowbros, their composition, the picks they have. You know that the focus is definitely not going to be mid lane for the Slowbros. It could go top lane, but the likelihood is they need to get the spot lane ahead. And so you need to realize as this Duke's tag, we could be under a lot of threat here. let's play it safe, let's play it chill, let's not overextend, and let's find a way to just get our way through this laning phase. That is the aim. As you do see a pause coming through, so we will have a little bit of a wait. So guys in chat, how you all doing? Pretty say hi to Twitch chat. Who you rooting for to win? We're looking at a Slowbros win, or are we looking for a Hentai Haven win? Because I'm rooting for Hentai Haven if I have to pick one. I do like the good old underdog story, but the Slowbros are certainly the favorites coming into this match, so it's gonna be a toughie. But yeah, I think things just fairly standard. I rooting for TSB, yeah. Okay. Hentai Haven, I want to see what they can do, because I don't think I've won a game versus Hentai Haven before. We under Cobra, my team, we got 2-1 by them during this split, and Hentai Haven, they're very good at playing through your weaknesses. They understand where your team is kind of struggling, and they're able to target that and then have a janky comp around that. Now, with that said, the Slovers are a team who I look at, and it's so hard to pinpoint a weakness. A lot of people direct their attention towards the mid lane, but I don't think Rapante is abusable enough, especially when you have someone like Florio who's still relatively unproven. So it's a real tough one for Hentai Haven to break down. I know I couldn't really break down the Slovers. It's they seem to have this style that's so hard to punish that the way that the Sobers operate, they always get one of their side lanes ahead. It'll be that they could target bot lane, and you can play safe bot lane, but then they'll go top lane instead. They're very good at finding the side lane to get ahead, getting it ahead, and snowballing through that. And I don't think I've seen many teams in VL have the threat to be able to play around both of their side lanes effectively. However, Rapante is getting pushed out really hard in mid lane. Great play by Florio so far. Death Sentence does land out. We're going to take a little bit of damage there, but nothing much. We are seeing a little bit of a fight in the bottom like we saw there. That's exactly what we don't want to happen for Hentai Haven. But the good thing about having the Tarek there is that he does have that innate sustain alongside the Jinx. It is a safe lane, and it's kind of what you want into the likes of Illusion Fresh. However, Jesus, Valanth's taking so much damage here. He needs to be careful. Just going for the Empowered Q though, and that trade just flips in the favor of Vladimir there. That's just disgusting. You see a little bit of an early fight top lane. Tarsus is here to see if he can score the first, but the flash does come out from Kuki, and that will be the end of that gank. However, Dragos, he is looking to see if he can make a counter gank happen. He's already in the Tribush. We'll see if he wants to push forward. They're waiting for Graves to walk out of this one. And oh, C7 unfortunately misses the flame there. We do see Dragos still sitting in that Tribush, seeing what he can do. And oh, looks like Graves wants to step up again. Here comes Dragos. But nothing gonna happen. He spent a lot of time topside, and Graves just got a free Scott Crab, so yeah. Now, mid lane, I mean, it was going in favor of Florio. He has had a lot of pressure in this lane, but still, he's only got a free CS lead, and even then, you look at the mana, he does not have much left. And this is where Vladimir edges you out. If Syndra can't get that early engage down, then she won't be able to do it. However, Rapante does get jumped on by both mid lane and jungle from Hentai Haven, is forced to. It doesn't even flash out his first blood. Oh, okay, Florio. I wasn't expecting that one. The first blood goes over to Syndra. I thought with that man talk they wouldn't be able to secure a kill, but a great gank from Tartus allows them to secure it. And now it looks like Tartus is starting to take over a little bit. He is securing both Scuttle Crabs now. He's got the hot lane one. And after that, I imagine he'll head bot lane and see what he can do there. Kuki is taking a lot of damage though in this top lane trade hero complex. Really asserting his dominance here, but a gank bot lane onto Lucian Fresh. Let's see what Tartus is able to do here. Durgang wants to see if he can turn, but isn't able to. Tartus does get Death Sentence, so this is huge. The Ignite comes down, he is forced to heal out of there. And despite that being a freebie to, it is Hentai Haven who will lose the summon the battle. The flash going away from Graves, and the heal having to be took off from Q as opposed to just the Ignite going down from T7. This is exactly what I'm talking about from the Sobers bot lane. They're so good at this. And now Dragos He's noticed an opening in the top lane here, and he's going to take it. Great gag from him. Heracom is going to try and walk this one out. Is able to. Does lose a lot of pressure though, and is probably going to have to back on this one. What I would say, the Rapante is taking such a beating in this mid lane so far. Florio is doing a great job at setting pressure, but credit to Rapante. He has the CS seed right now. 31 CS to 25. He's doing a good job at surviving this lane. The issue is, how long can you hold this Syndra? Because she's constantly going to be throwing her balls at you, landing all this poke. She's going to hit level 6 soon, and then she has the Unleashed power available. It's going to be a real toughie for Rapante to overcome. That a stun does come through. Florio forcing the pull out. Rapante going so low again, and he's not going to get a chance to touch his minion wave so far. Dragos and Tartus both hanging around this mid lane. We'll see if any action does kick off. As Florio not long for the level 6 of Rapante. He has also hit level 6, hasn't got plague available. And now the invade coming in from Tartus onto Dragos. We'll see what he's able to do. But the camera does not care because we focus more on this bot lane. Where Durga and T7, they've built themselves a, well, I wouldn't say lead. It stayed fairly even right now. They are able to crash this huge wave under the tower for themselves. But overall right now, the bot lane is actually not going as far into Slowbro's favor as I would have thought. They really want to make something happen here as this Lucian Fresh. And you've got to remember, with this duo, the clock is always ticking. If this Lucian is not ahead come to mid to late game, he's not going to be doing an incredible amount. I think he tries to make something happen in the top lane, but unable to. And now, yep, Syndra gets full mid priority, able to get a plating for herself as well. And this is a slight worry for Rapante. However, here comes, he's going incredibly low. He has his Death from Below available. He is able to hit it. Oh no, it's Fear from Near. No, Death from Below is playing. I'm silly. But Kyuki is able to secure the kill for himself, so well played to him. Dragos now just gonna clear out some wards. Have a bit of a chill out time in this jungle. Could look for a gank mid. He knows that Florio does not have much mana available to him. But he is just gonna head for an invade into the enemy jungle. And now Vi is going to... I thought he was going to invade. He's not going to. He's just going to chill there. And we'll see if Thomas is able to score this red buff. As now, here comes Dragos. He's looking for the gank mid. He knows the Syndra has no mana, like I talked about before. And now Florio, you may have overstepped there, but he could flash out. That flash cooldown will be down for the time being. He also threatening this mid lane means that Florio can't exert that pressure he really wants to. And so he's going to have to get as much CS as he can and then just back off. He does have a lot of gold to cash in there. We're sitting at about 1.1k gold, which will be at least enough for the lost chapter that with his components that he has, which is incredibly useful in this lane where you want that mana sustain just to survive. And now, bot lane. We do see Duragai on his own for now, but C7 going to return. Still, great play to Hentai Heaven's bot lane. I have to commend them. They've done a great job. They're staying even with Duragai and C7 on a Lucian Fresh. They're doing a fantastic job so far. This tactic working out a lot more than I really expected. However, there is still that innate worry. The Lucian Fresh all-in is ever scary. But, you know, there hasn't been much threat from Drayloc's bot lane. They haven't really pulled the trigger here, and that's a surprising one for me. Rapante is going to take a lot of damage from this Aatrox in the mid lane, as Heracom decides to leave the top lane for a second just to pressure out Rapante, make sure he can't get any of that farm that he wants. This is a best of 3 series though, so bear in mind, if this game is lost, it's not lost, as we do see a possible play onto Kiro, but the death sentence does land though, and he's going to be forced to flash out of that one, the flash he'll use, but still survives for now. Kuki does get the dash onto Tartus, and he will have to flash himself. It's a lot of flashes being burned, but no kills coming down recently across the map, so still a fairly even game, which is really what Hentai Haven want, I'd say, with this Jinx Tarek bot lane. The issue is I'm looking at this Vladimir, who's still surviving. I'm looking at an Urgot, who is getting stronger and stronger. And I'm looking at this Graves, who I don't think will be doing an incredible amount in the late game. And I don't know, maybe I'm having slight doubts about Hentai Haven, but they have this scaling bot lane that's doing very, very well so far, and so it's a real toughie for me. It's a real toughie. I don't really know who is on top of this game so far. We do see that the Cerberus, they are getting a little bit of pressure. They're walking in, getting wards. Instead of outside jungle, they are securing the Cloud Drake too. So good stuff from them. Good proactive play. We'll see if Tartus is able to respond with a play on the top side of the map. He's looking for an invade, but there is nothing to take there, my friend. And it means that the Cerberus will get this Cloud Drake for absolutely free. It's freer than an A. And the Jinx Rocket actually hitting good to top lane. Not going to hit, unfortunately. But I's on the C7. He's looking to see if he can make a play onto Florio. Can he land that sentence? No, he can't. And in fact, he's doing incredibly well. The Ignite comes down, and C7 has been just... He's been took out of existence. Florio said, nope, he will not exist anymore, and he took him outside that realm. He's gone. And that's just something with an Ignite. However, Florio getting engaged from Rapanti, but Rapanti doesn't take into account the location of the jungle. Tartus splashes forward, but Dragos is there to help out. There's a big overextension from Tartus. He's going to go down to Dragos. That is huge. And now Florio, he has no mana, no ease on knock away Dragos. And he could be securing a double kill here. He will. Heracles has popped his ultimate. We'll see what he's able to do in this fight. Dragos still giving him a good bump with those autos. And there we go. There's a definite below pop. But Dragos, oh, he's gone down. That's so unfortunate. And now Kuki and Hero Combat is just going to set on 1v1 in this mid lane. Well played to Hero for being able to secure that kill. And overall, I believe that's a 2 for 2. If my maths doesn't fail me. I hope it doesn't. I have an exam on that tomorrow. So, yeah, this is an exciting game so far. And we are seeing a decent, even match. What I will say, though, is Florio has done such a good job at getting himself ahead, getting the kills that he needs to, and bouncing off a lot of this pressure that they're trying to throw mid to shut him down. So it is well played from him, and we'll see what the Cerberus can do, because they haven't put barely any jungle pressure bot, and that worries me, because you need to get this Lucian fresh ahead. I feel like you come into that game, if you don't have that lead that you need, then I don't know what you're really going to be able to do. They are looking to use that culling, but not going to get anything off of that one, because Tartus is there ready to help. And the Slowbros, they look a little bit stuck right now. Like, they haven't got the bot lane lead that they're accustomed to, and mid lane is going, usually Rafanti holds or even gets a lead very, very well, but in this matchup, it has not happened. Florio has got that innate lead onto Rafanti, and he's going so low. He's being forced straight out of this lane. And top lane now, thanks to the kill that Hero was able to secure into Dragos, is also going very, very even. So overall, Hentai Haven are doing a good job in this game. However, the gold lead is still askew in favor of the Slowbros. And you want to know why that is? That is because of that buy. Whilst Tartus has only been able to secure an assist for himself, Dragos, however, has been able to secure 2 kills and at least a bit more CS. And so he has had that, you could argue, superior pathing in that sense. But also, Rafanti, you're going incredibly low there in the mid lane. That is the power of Syndra. But Rafanti, seeing if he can get the engage to happen. Florio does go incredibly low too and realizes he can't fight Vladimir here. That sustain is disgusting. And despite the fact that Syndra has all this burst, it does not secure a kill. The stun does come down though. Rafanti going to be going incredibly low. But look at Kuki and Dragos. They're heading towards mid to get the kill. Tartus is able to snipe Rafanti with his classical damage, but he's going to get sniped from a death, from beyond death, and now, oh my god, Dragos, assault on battery under the tower. I'm not sure you want to be there, but that is a shutdown going over to Florio. He's 3-1-2 now. And oh my goodness. What a fight. Hero comes with that. He is getting ignited, getting engaged, but there's death sentence, and he is, yeah, he's going to go down from this. Is he? No, yeah, he is. He's going to. So, yeah, I mean, Florio, you did a great job again. You keep seeing the Slowbros want to put all this pressure mid lane, throw the Vi there, put the Urgot there, try and really put Florio behind. But every time they do it, Florio is able to turn around to play with the help of Tartus, and now he's sitting 3-1-2. He's sitting very, very well. And the Slowbros, they're kind of lagging behind on these lanes. I will say that the jungle matchup is still going very well in their favor, and so it isn't a huge worry for now, but the Slowbros are a mid-game spiking team, so they are going to want to make some plays happen soon, because if they don't, then we're looking at Keep Rugged Boy, we're looking at players like Tartus, hit those item spikes that they need to, and Tarek coming online in those team fights is going to be huge come the later stages of the game. What do we see though is finally Draco's in the bot lane. As I wanted to see, he is dropping down the Rift Tower that he was able to pick up earlier, and now they are going to be looking to pressure that bot lane tier 1, a typical slow bros play here. They are going to get the charge down. It is going to do so much damage to that tower, and the slow bros is going to be able to secure that one for themselves. The first turret gold going over to Lucian, and that leads to a 1k gold lead for the slow bros. This is the kind of play you want to see. Just getting bot lane, getting that Herald down. Very good. Florio. So we talked about him having a lot of pressure around him, and you know, 2-3 people coming around and he's able to deflect it. I don't think he can deflect 5 people, and now the slow bros, they are able to pick off Tartus too, and all of a sudden that mid-game spike that I talked about, there we go. We're seeing the slow bros really achieve that here. They are able to secure the dragon there, and the gold lead already snowballing 2k in favor of the slow bros. It was fairly even for a lot of this game, so that is going to be in the slow bros' favors. Them taking advantage of their catch composition and getting people in that position. Florio shouldn't have been there, Tartus shouldn't have been there, and they done got him. So now it looks like they are looking to make a move towards the top side. Hero Complex is up there. He is able to secure the tower, but there are 3 members of the slow bros. I don't really see him escaping this one. He has popped his World Ender, but I don't know if that's going to be able to save him. He is able to use the Lasting Plant and is able to hop over the wall, but there's still 3 members there. However, here come the rest of Hentai Haven. They're looking to save him. We'll see if they're able to. The slow bros may have overextended here as Valanth forced to... Oh, he doesn't have flash. That means he is gone, and Dragos and Kuki both forced to flash out of that one too. Meaning that overall it is a real bad thing there for the slow bros. It was looking so good for them. They were having a great proactive session, but unfortunately they overextend a little bit for Hero Complex's kill, and thanks to that, it means that Hentai Haven are able to split the mid turret, and they're already back in this game. They're making plays of their own. The shining light for the slow bros is Kuki right now though. Look at him, he's 4-0, he's an absolute beast. Has Black Cleaver, has the tabbies, has a lot of tank stats as well, which means that in these mid-game fights, Kuki's going to be so hard to deal with for the slow bros because of that innate tankiness. We're seeing what Florio can do to people like Valanth, people like Duragai, these squishy champions, but because Kuki's gotten a very good lead for himself and is able to get quite tanky, I'm a little bit worried for how they're going to be able to deal with Kuki if he just runs onto the back line. Now, they do have tools to do it. They have attack, just being a peel monster. They have Jinx able to kite back, but they're going to have to see what they can do. Is now Florio getting caught out in the enemy jungle, that's his jungle, but Yogai going to be able to get the kill for himself. And once again, Florio, he's in places he shouldn't be. He's got this big lead, had a lot of pressure, but he's forcing it a little bit too hard now. He's going into areas where he doesn't have the vision to support himself, and it's meaning he is getting picked off by the catch composition of Subos. And the assault and battery is landing onto Tartus. He is gone. And now we are looking at a good snowball for the slow bros. We'll see if they're able to continue what they're doing here, though. I do want to see them get some more vision control further into the enemy jungle, and then use that to push in the side lanes. They've kept Trafante bot lane, able to push that one in. They're pushing in mid lane right now, and they've put Duragai top lane and allowed him to push. And Dragos will be joining him shortly to see if they can make a fight on Hero Complex. It's going to come out. But nothing else for now. We'll see if they're able to force the dive. With Dragos and C7 both there, I don't think Hero Complex can contest this one for now. However, we do see Florio heading up, and alongside Tartus, it will end up being a 3v3, so Hentai Haven not going to lose the top lane tier 1 just yet. We'll see what they're able to do to combat this. But we see all 5 members of Hentai Haven on the top side right now, so if a play does get forced, they can easily get a good counter engage. But for now, it looks like the Slowbros haven't got their trigger finger on them right now. But they are heading towards this fight. Oh, and a good stun for C7 means that he's not going to be able to get the engage he wants to get. Dragos now looking at Hero Complex, but not seeing much from that. And both teams posturing around each other, not actually forcing that big play, unfortunately. And the death sentence does come out, but once again, nothing can be forced of it. But whilst this is all happening, avert your eyes to the bot lane. Vladimir is pushing in incredibly hard. And now, whilst the Cerberus are forced to back off, they're able to force the TP out of Hero Complex, which is a huge win. And alongside the Assault and Battery and the Destiny, that's huge for them. Florio will likely go down for that Cosmic Radiance, and now the Cerberus are winning this fight in the top lane as soon as Hero Complex leaves. And now Rapunzel, he TPs himself, but this time it's to win the fight. Cute Rugged Boy not able to get away from this one just yet. The Flame brings him back into the fight, and that is going to be a near clean ace with Aatrox sitting in the bot lane. And they should be able to get the Baron as a reward for this one, knowing that Aatrox does not have that teleport available. That is just the thing that Eric Complex can do about this. Like, I mean, he could even, he's going to the Infernal Dragon, which, to be fair, Infernal Dragon's a decent objective, but it's nothing comparable to this Baron right now. Well, so what's quite slow when the Slowboys are able to secure it for themselves, and this is going to help them so much, because you look at their composition, and they don't have fantastic siege, they don't have the typical creative carry that you use in siege compositions. However, that means that having this Baron buff is so useful because they're able to push in the lanes through using this Baron buff. And that's going to be allowing them to really push their advantage and start getting a lot for their fights. Florio does get killed with the Kirby on death. And Durga going to use the culling to... Oh my god, is Adorable dead? No, they are not, but Cute Rugged Boy may not be long for this. Whoa, Durga gets the kill for himself. Tatus gonna see if he can get reply kill, but the Lantern's gonna take Durga out of that fight. And now, Tatus, he gets death sentenced. He's gonna be took out of this one. Yuki is a legendary 8-0-3 on this Urgot, and he is starting... Like, this is starting to look like classic Slowbros. For a second, I was a little bit worried in the game, but as soon as the mid-game hit, they made play after play after play. That proactivity you expect from them, as you've seen here. And now Hentai Haven, they're going to be facing a real tough mountain to climb with a 6.5k gold deficit. And oh, nothing else going to come of that one. Draco's actually going to go incredibly low. I lied. That would be one kill going on. Kuki also incredibly low. Cerberus may have bit off more than they can chew. Shutdown going over to Hero Complex. And Kuki, can he escape? He's forced to flash out at C7. You're not where you want to be either, buddy. That's going to be a good knockup going to him. Can't get the stun around, but can they force the place though? They're going to miss a few of these Qs, and they might just let C7 get out with his life. But that's the kind of thing you want to see from Hentai Haven. That's having to get back into the game. They force the engage in the 5v5. Oh, sorry, they make the Cerberus engage them in the 5v5, and then they're able to use their defensive abilities, use that Tarek to just say, no, you're not doing damage, we're the ones doing damage in this fight, we're just going to peel off with you. And it's exactly what they do, and they do it very well in that initial fight. Definitely to stand onto the Adorable. We'll see if they're able to escape. Cosmic Radiance does come down, but it's not going to be able to do much. And now that big cooldown will be available for the Cerberus, who abusing the Assault Battery comes up with Florio. Florio, he's going to be going down incredibly soon, but Dragos has gone down too. A lot of low health bars. Hero Complex going down as well. But it looks like the Cerberus are winning the fight. They're heading forward. Tatus is also down. Adorable and Cute Rugged Boy forced to run with their tail between their legs. The Ignite comes down to the Jinx. Can they secure the kill? I don't know if they can, but he is stepping ever closer to that Fresh. And so, yep. He's gone. Bye-bye, Jinx. That's an ace for the Slowbros. I imagine that should be the game alongside that. Well played to the slow boys. We do see Florio heading up in 7 seconds to see if he's able to do something, but I doubt he'll be able to. It is looking like lights out for game 1 of this 3-game series. We will be having a real dominant performance from the Sobos. I think in their playoff campaign so far, they haven't had a game that's took longer than 30 minutes for them to win. They are just looking that dominant. However, I spoke way too soon because Hentai Haven are forcing the Sobos out of their own base. The game is not over yet, folks. Don't worry about that. I was maybe expecting a little bit too much from the Sobos there, and underestimating what Hentai Haven had. But you see there the lack of siege from their team. With the Lucian pick, you don't have that huge range, innate way to destroy towers, and it means they don't have the fastest pushes. They can't. It makes it hard for them to play the tower game all the time, and so that's one of the big worries of this kind of composition when it hits this point in the game. They don't have that siege. But now Juragai, he has not been prepared for this fight, but Drago says, no, don't worry, I got you, buddy. And yet here it comes, he is gone. Juragai goes so low to the collateral damage, but does not go down. And now 7, see if he can force anything, but does not look like he's going to be to flash out of this one. The Unleashed Power going onto the Fresh Brood, not going to be dealing an insane amount of damage. They're forcing the Slowbros to run, but that's all they can do is this. Kuki is zooming onto Tartarus. There is no escape for this grave. He is being sent to his grave. And oh my god, this is a 10-5 got. Oh dear. That's just horrid. And now it looks like a Dorkable could have possibly been dove there. I did hear a flash. But the great use of the Cinder E means that there is not a dive to be had. Apante, though, on the side lane is able to push in fairly easily, and they are going to force a few members down to deal with him. And yeah, it's just going to be a slow macro work from the Slow Bros. They are slowly but surely knocking down these inhibitors. They're going to be able to get the bot lane inhibitor, and that's another big thing going on there. It means that not only do they have a short mid priority, but they also have a short bot priority. And alongside this, if they're able to back reset now, and you can see they're already doing it, they're setting up vision around the Baron Path. And this will be the final nail in the coffin, in my opinion. If the Slowbros are able to secure this Baron, they have 2 inhib waves coming through. They just push through top lane, and there's not going to be much that Hentai Haven can do to really combat that. So they really are going to have to see what they can do around this Baron Pit. And they're still going to get this Tower Drake for pretty much free first. But what I want to see is Hentai Haven push out a little bit, try and get this inverse push, and then use that priority and go top lane, get pressure there, and don't let them on the Baron. The issue is that the Sobros, they realize, you know, let's just get pressure ourselves. And they're able to do that. And now they're threatening the Baron. If you're on Hentai Haven's side, you should know if this Baron goes down, and they're out of the game. However, it looks like the Sobros are more interested in baiting, and Florio, he has took that bait. He's hooked, line, and sinker. The Dorkable has gone down too. That's another double kill going over to Kuki. And there is the Baron going over. Probably going to be the end of the game there. You still have 3 members up, the Aatrox, the Graves, and the Jinx. However, because of that tag dying, they don't have that anti-dive that they really want. And so that's going to cause huge issues for this side of Hentai Haven if they want to hold out in this game for much longer. We do see the Sobros already quick to get into that top lane, like I talked about, get that push going there. They know they're going to have priority in bot lane and mid lane, and they're sending members to assure that. They're going to push Hentai Haven to their nexus and grab this top lane for free. But if Hentai Haven want to do anything now, it's now or never. They need to force a fight. If they don't, they will lose this game. 3 inhib waves coming in, 3 sets of Baron buff minions going to be knocking on the Hentai Haven nexus. What can they do about it? Lucy Silver's looking to see if they can step up. They are backing off for now. Into Haven are overextending a little bit, and now they are someone bashing straight onto Florio. He is going to get took down very easily. So does Dorkable. That's going to be the game. Great fight from Slowbros. Great game from them. Well played. Now, this is the tough part of the series. You, as Hentai Haven, you shown some bright lights in that early game. They did do a decent job themselves, but as soon as that mid game hit, it felt like players like Florio and Tart just didn't respect the catch potential of what the Slowbros had. As soon as C7 and Dragos started moving about the map, we saw constant deaths from these two. And I think there are several things to blame for that. You could argue about their positioning, but you could also argue about warding. They just need to find a way to deal with it, though. Because if they continue to play like they did this game, it's going to be a quick duo. I'm expecting a change from Hentai Haven, but I don't really know what they're going to be able to pull out so far. Astobos are looking incredibly dominant. I mean, especially Kuki. Kuki just popped off in this game. And it's like I talked about, one bot lane doesn't, one side there doesn't snowball, but then the other will. And that's always going to be the case with the Slowbros. And so it's a hard thing to crack. We'll see if Hentai Haven are able to do so and bounce back. I'm going to head for a quick break, but I will see you guys shortly.
Take me in small, breathe me in and let me go. Take me in small, breathe me in and let me go. Filling the lungs inside you, and the blackened eyes make my way into your mind. Just to know what you knew. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but in the dead of the night. Let the darkness take control. Let the darkness take control. Darkness take control. May the darkness take control. Take me in small, breathe me in and let me go. Sink to your heart to find you. Open up your eyes till you're blinded by the lies, so you can see what you do. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but in the dead of the night. Teardrops on the floor. The pain is over. Feel the darkness take control.
Hello, guys, and welcome back for the second game of the VL semi-finals between the Slow Bros and Hentai Haven. Reminder, this is a best of 3 series, so if the Slow Bros take this win, they move on to the Valanth League finals. However, they still have one more game in between them and the finals, and standing in between them is this Hentai Haven squad. Now, last game, we did see a good game from the Slow Bros. The early game was actually fairly even. Hentai Haven did hold their own very well. However, as soon as that mid game came along, the Vi, the Fresh, that catch comp that really does come online in the mid game was able to take over the game, and we did see the Slow Bros take advantage of their power spikes and win the game. Now, looking at this game, they do need to make some changes, naturally. But I don't really know what they can do. I mean, we saw that Florio was able to take advantage of Robante a decent amount. We did see that Keep Rugged Boy and Adorable are able to hold off the bot lane Adora guy and C7 from a snowball. So my eyes naturally are directed to this top jungle duo of Hero Complex and Tartus. It's them who really need to step up this game if we're assuming that everyone stays in the same form. As Kuki last game, I believe he went about 12-0-5 in that ERGOT, which is completely bonkers. Like he took, I don't want to say he took over because it was a unified effort from the Slow Bros, but that ERGOT was unstoppable as soon as he started getting out lead. And so I want to see his Tartus focus a little bit more of his pressure towards the top side, get Kuki behind, and allow the rest of his solo laners to kind of chill out. I think balance the pressure between the top and the mid lane, and you'll be sorted if you're Tartus. Now, of course, that is a decent way to target the Cerberus after what they've done game one. But what the Cerberus are very known to do, and like I said about before, they can still move through multiple side lanes. And my worry is if Hentai Haven do decide to go with my strategy, if they decide to target that top lane, then it's very easy for Wave to just head down bot, camp them, and get Duro guy and C7 that big snowball lead. And so it's going to be on a Hentai Haven to make sure that whatever side they're not focusing on, they're able to hold off incredibly well and be aware that those plays from the Slowbros will be being made. Now, still similar bans from what we saw in game one so far. They're sticking to their guns. That Viger and the Lux both being took away from Florio, the Tristana, and Galio being took away from the Slowbros bottom lane. Those big engaged champions. Once again, it's a big thing to talk about, but the Slowbros love engaged champions. They love playing this catch style that spikes in the mid game, where they take over the map, they get their dragons, they get their wards down, they push in through the mid lane, they get these skirmishes going. That's how the Slowbros wins these kind of games, after they're able to play off a snowball in the top lane or the bot lane. Now, a slight tweak, I don't remember them banning Nautilus last time, unless I having a little bit of brain lag there. But still, everyone knows engaged champions taking it away from the Slowbros is so important. But the Vi still isn't took away. The Fresh still isn't took away. In fact, none of the picks from last game have been took away from the Slowbros, and the Fresh will be going straight back into the hands of C7. Now, this Fresh pick, I quite like it because it gives C7 that comfort. We've seen them want to be proactive around this bot lane, but Hentai Haven, their bot lane and Cute Regular Boy and Dorkable, they're very good at holding. And I feel like whilst the Fresh pick is good in terms of comfort and in terms of playing around the mid-game spike that I'm going to talk so much about, because that is where Slowbro's composition is usually spike. I think if they opt to play a holding bot lane and play proactive top and mid, it's going to be very tough for that Fresh to really do a lot until that 15-20 minute mark. However, the Jarvan and the Zyra are going to be picked up for Hentai Haven, so that's a lot more proactivity coming out from them. I feel like last game they didn't make a huge amount of plays from the mid game, but having a Jarvan and a Zyra available means that those mid game fights are not only going to be good for the Slowbros, but they are also going to be good for Hentai Haven. As that Sivir picked up for Duragai. He's always memed as that Sivir main, but he has got it locked in for himself. And having the ability to really hard push in bully Hentai Haven mean that what I like about this pick is that we've known that Hentai Haven, their bot lane, they want to hold. They know that Duragai and C7 are an incredibly strong bot lane and want to snowball, so they're just going to sit back. I really like the Civic pick into that because you know that you're going to be able to get free push, free platings against that kind of bot lane. Victor, though, locked in for Florio. Not only is that a good pick for Florio, but it's also a big takeaway from Rapante. It's one of his signature picks. So, decent pick up there, but I would prefer them to kind of maybe ban that away and pick something else. However, it's what they've gone for. Scaling mid laner will be what they choose. And now, instead of Florio being the one with the priority in the mid lane, with the lane advantage, if Rapante is able to use his counter pick well, then it's likely going to be him who's going to be the one pushing to get lane priority, pushing to get those advantages. And so that flips this mid lane matchup on its head a little bit. We have seen Florio do well when he's in the proactive seat, but I want to see what Rapante is able to do. Is if we look at the band, Silas also being taken away from Kuki or Rapante Ravenland. Well, probably not Ravenland because he's Vexite. Ezreal going to be taken away from Cute Rugged Boy. Another one of those safe AD carries. It's clear what Hentai Haven like to do. They love to play the holding style. Getting rid of Ezreal, getting rid of Poppy, these big disengages means that Subros can play their engage heavy style and not be impaired by these really annoying safe champions. Have the Urgot. That's nice. I like that pick. It gets took away from Kuki in the top lane, and it will be gifted over to Hero Complex. So we'll see what he's able to do with this Urgot pickup for himself. I'm surprised he's also left the AD carry pick till last. I don't really know why, unless they've got something really wacky up their sleeve. Let's see what they're able to pull out. But Vladimir going to be once again the pickup for Rapante, and now in a smooth lane matchup, I was talking about Rapante being the one who wants the lane advantage and wants to push, but now that he's picked the Vladimir, it's very much an even matchup. We're looking at Florio and Rapante to kind of just farm it up, have a nice chill lane. I don't imagine there'll be much action. We'll see what the last pick is for the Slowbros, though. As the clock ticks down, it will be, won't be Elise, it will be Kennen for Kuki, having that range advantage against the Urgot, being super hard to kill, and also one of the best mid-game spiking champions in the game that's able to use ultimates incredibly well in skirmishes. Yeah, you guessed that right. It's decisive motion from Kennen. Hugely impactful ultimate, and if Kuki's able to get those TP flanks off, he is going to he's going to rip apart Hentai Haven. However, that's why they were leaving their AD carry pick till last, because that looks like a Vel'Koz Zyra bot lane. That looks disgusting. That is genuinely vile. Uh, oh my god, that is horrific. So, like I talked about, Kurt Rugged Boy, he likes his mages, and we do see him busting one out here. I imagine it's going to be the Vel'Koz bot lane. We'll see what they want to look in the end. It's a good job that Durga has his hands on something like Sivir, who has the spell shoot available, very nice against those mages. Sure, still isn't an amazing matchup, but is workable. It's a lot better than being a very immobile ADC who doesn't have those pure abilities, because then you're kind of screwed. But the use of the mages here means that I'm really not sure what Hentai Haven want to do, because they have the Urgot and the Jarvan. Great snowball combo in the top lane. But then I look at the rest of the map and I see Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz is a very good scaling champion. We have Victor Zyra. Now, naturally, I'm not an expert on Victor Zyra. I'll be honest, I'm really not. But I imagine they're going to be having a decent amount of lane priority, but I'm not expecting a huge amount of kills, especially considering that Hentai Haven haven't even opted in for an Ignite in the bot lane. We have a heal on a Dorkable and we have a teleport on Cute Rugged Boys. So what I'm expecting from them is just to once again play their holding style, play their chill style, just use that Victor Wave clear, use a Zyra poke, and just make sure that Durga and C7 can't get the advantages that they're used to. The difference this time is that not only are they going to be able to play that holding style, but also they have that Urgot Jarvan combo in the top lane, meaning that hopefully they are going to target that top lane, shut down Kuki, and also hold bot lane. Don't let Durga and C7 snowball, And I doubt Rapunzel is going to be able to get that snowball going either. If they're able to achieve those things, if they're able to hold bot lane, get top lane ahead, and keep mid lane even, it puts Hentai Haven in a fantastic stead in this game. However, that isn't the whole story because the Slowbros, they still have a fairly good mid-game composition. However, it's a lot less oriented towards the catch now, and it's a lot more towards the team fights themselves. They no longer want to just hook someone, get someone out of position, get those like 1-2 kills, but they can get having those huge impactful champions in team fights like Kennen, Vladimir's there again, but this time Sivir is also available. You're looking at them in the mid game, grouping around River, getting that vision control, forcing 3-man, 4-man fights, and winning off of those big mid game skirmishes. That is the Slowbros win condition. And if they have snowballs, that makes it so much easier for them to do. It's why denying the Slowbros those snowballs is so important. Because if you don't, that's when the Slowbros are able to play around certain lanes, are able to get priority across the map. And we've seen it time and time again when the Slowbros have priority, they are near unstoppable. In terms of individual matchups, the one I'm excited for the bot lane. It is Victor Zyrie. You don't usually get to see this bot lane combo, and being against that Sivir Fresh, who do have counterplay options and ways to pick off the Victor or the Zyra, it will be a very, very fun one to watch. And I'm really not sure who will come out on top. It's such a tough one for me. I think it's going to be Hentai Haven because I doubt Durogai and C7 have the matchup experience. But it is going to be a fairly even matchup, I imagine. The top lane is also, it has to be the lane that Tartus is going to want to target on that Jarvan. If you're able to gank that Urgot, shut down Kuki, that's the dream, really. You get rid of that top lane snowball who stop bot lane from snowballing. There you go, you're sorted. But we are in the loading screen right now. We are going to be heading onto the Rift shortly. So, Bros, they are 1-0 up in this series. If they take this game, they take the series. They head to the finals. But who do you guys think will win? Is it Sobros? Is it going to be Hentai Haven this game? Do you see any changes? Let me know in the chat. I do enjoy seeing you guys. But we will be heading into game shortly, and this is a huge game for Hentai Haven. You have to think your backs are against the wall here. You're 1-0 down. It was a really tough defeat to take. And so this game, you need to find your change, and your game is now resting on a Victor Zyra bot lane, which you can't imagine has been tested a huge amount. We'll have to see what happens here. But teams are on the Rift now. This is it. Now or never for Hentai Haven. Will they stay in the tournament? Will they be able to get their hands on that prize money? Well, prize RP. Or will the Slowbros continue their dominance over VL? We will have to see as once again standard starts for the two sides. No wacky invades being seen, unfortunately. But that does give us a little bit more time to talk about how these competitions interact. And what I really like is that Hentai Haven, they only reveal that mage last, and that helps them in several ways. But the best way is if you look at the Slowbros composition, there's only really one big tank, and that's C7. But the rest, I mean, they can kind of build a little bit tanky. You can imagine Vladimir building one or two fairly tanky items, maybe Rek'Sai pivoting into the tank. But overall, the Slowbros have quite a squishy composition. And that means that picking all these AP champions isn't actually going to be a huge detriment for Hentai Haven. If the Slowbros did have 2-3 tanks, then you'd be sitting in it'll be a completely different story. If Hentai Haven didn't get those snowballs, they'd be screwed because of that MR. But if they're able to use their mages correctly and punish players like Duragai and Fuki, then they're sorted. But, we do see a pause coming out right now. So we do have a little bit more time to chill. And yeah, but I am expecting a lot of action topside. I think that will be where a lot of the ganks will come through. I think we're looking at definitely Tartus should be targeting topside. And I think Wavy would also probably peek his head in there if he knows that Tatis is going to be there. He could still go bot lane. Zyra and Victor are both incredibly immobile champions, and so he could look to punish. However, with the defensive combo of heal and TP, I don't know if how valuable that gank's going to be to try and get off in the early game, unless C7 can land one mean death sentence in this bottom lane. Now, once again, mid lane, it's going to be a very, very even matchup. I mean, I imagine Florio will slightly edge it out in the early game thanks to his ability to poke. But Vladimir can sustain up too, so it's not going to be the end of the mode for Rapante. And both should theoretically have a nice calm laning phase and scale up to that mid game and that late game very, very nicely. Now, there's not really interesting to talk about right now, to be honest. I mean, looking at both teams, we've talked about a lot of things. But what I'm interested in is, once again, the highest level control of bot lane. Like, you're looking at the Victor Zyra, and I really want to see how this lane actually works. Like, how much harass are they going to be able to really get down? Is it going to be a case of they start dominating and poking out? Is it going to be a case of they're focusing on wave clear and trying to push these guys in? Like, there's so many ways this lane can go, and I'm really, really anticipating what's happening. So we'll have to see what they're able to do. There's Cute Raid Boy. He started a laser. He's using around this girl of CS. But can't imagine much else happening here. Now, they are kind of losing out a little bit right now. C7 Duragai do have the level 3 spike earlier. Hook lands onto a door, but that's bad. Forces the flash out, and that's really what you don't want to see. We talked about them needing these offensive summoners, being a mobile champions, and they've already lost a flash on a Dorkable. So, nothing much they can do about that. But now, it does mean that Duragai and T7 have the priority bot, which is very, very good for them. Hero Complex, he gets stuck quite low. And, gives me forced out this lane a little bit. It was Kuki who did have the counter pick in top lane, and he has had this cannon. So we'll see if he's able to use that pick to success. We do see Rek'Sai and Draven both around the top side. However, Draven's going to be backing off now, whilst Rek'Sai secures the Skull Crab. So early river control going to be going over to Wavy Lad, and we'll see what he's able to do with it. If he tries to gank, if he just goes back and clears his jungle. I think he's going to go clear his jungle. And yeah, I mean, right now I'm not too sure about this bot lane. Reality already a 7-8 CS lead from Duragai on this Civ and he's doing a good job of it. Top lane's getting pretty smashed by Kuki so far, thanks to that range advantage. And bot lane is also starting to take a little bit of control. We're already seeing a 0.5k gold lead 4 minutes into the game. So the Sobro are certainly the ones with the early advantage, but we'll see what they're able to do with it. As of now, it looks like C7 may meet Tartus in the jungle. Look at the minimap down there, but nothing much going to happen from that one, unfortunately. Now we do see Vladimir possibly at risk of getting ganked. Does get knocked up. The pull has been forced out, and they get the flash as well. Great play onto Rapante there. That's going to give Florio a slight edge in this lane, which is very, very nice. However, Satus, you've not been top yet, buddy. I mean, Hero Complex is incredible though, and needs to back, admittedly, but I want to see him go top. This is the lane that you want to get ahead. If Elgot can get through the laning phase versus this Kennen, can possibly get a lead, start snowballing, that's what you want to see. But the issue is, can he do it without jungle flash? So I don't think Elgot can get the engages off without Satus getting a gank there. And that's going to be an awkward one for them. Now, Titus went for a gank, but Duragai and C7 were more than ready for that one. And we'll see if he's able to make one mid now. Titus, I want you to play upside, buddy. Why are you sitting bot? They do force the pull out of Rapante, and that's going to be it for now. Titus has been started out taking out this control board though, and maybe that. But let's see if we can get a knock up on could be a little bit of a skirmish going on here. Tatus going quite low against the flag and drag out, and it's going to be a 0-for-0. The priority does head over to Florio as Rapante goes incredibly low inside this fight. And now, oh, there we go. A great use of the life form disintegration ray. And Rapante has been tucked down. The first blood goes over to Florio. And once again, he gets this early laning advantage. Now, that is, and that's a great thing to see from the Slowbros. I really like seeing that Kogun goes to Florio, gives him a lot of lane priority, gives him the push. He could look to roam, he could just look to continue his lane dominance like he did last game. We do see though, the slicing motion has been popped top lane, but unfortunately he's not able to get much off of that play. Hero Complex is also a good job of holding. He was sitting incredibly low, but he's only about, well, 6 CS behind right now. 6-7 CS, and overall, that isn't too bad, to be honest. I mean, we did talk about this being a hard matchup for the about jungle pressure, and now Tatus, he makes his first visit to the top lane, just going to be taking out a control ward. But it's going to let Kiki know I'm around. Just let you know. But, we are starting to see the poke once again. See that deja vu coming out of Florio here. It seems like Rapante's taking a lot of damage on the backside of these trades. And he just needs to be a little bit careful about how this goes. However, I see a fresh and direct side around this dragon. And they could possibly look for it. However, Rapante, he shows the pool. And Florio's having a lot of lane dominance right now. But how, uh-oh. That's 3 people versus 1. Now, if my match is correct, that is not the best trade. C7, he flashes forward though and isn't able to get the kill. And unfortunately, that means that it's only a flash for flash, while Guy is stuck on his own bottom lane. We also see Tatus possibly looking for an engage onto C7, but he's not going to pull the trigger for now. And C7, he's walking through the river, but not able to get much off there. Overall though, I have to say, it's been a fairly even game so far. The 1 kill has gone over to Hentai Haven, but we are seeing a very big CS in the top lane now. Oh, and I missed Flag and Drag, that is unfortunate. If he landed that, that could have been the kill. Slicing motion does come through though, I'm not really sure why Kuki popped that, but does soften up Tatus a little bit. And C7, he takes so much damage to the backside of this fight. Oh, Adogun was actually got the kill! C7 should not have overstepped there, and that's the power of this Victor Zyra lane. They have so much poke that if you do get caught out, you're taking so much damage, and if you try and walk away, you're just going to keep taking these abilities one by one by one. Eventually, you are going to just go down, as you see there. Evelad not able to get anything going mid lane, and you know, gonna be honest, Hentai Haven, they're looking in good stead so far. Then once again, the early game not looking too shabby from this team, but they need to start shoring it up. It's the mid game I'm worried for. The pool has been forced out of Rapante again, thanks to the life form disintegration ray. And we do see Tatus heading into the enemy jungle, putting a lot of pressure down on this bot side. And they will be able to collect 1 or 2 platings from this mid lane. And now Rapante, Wavy Lad, you stepped a little bit too far there. The Cataclysm comes through, and Wavy Lad dies under tower. More platings are going to go over to Florio and Tatus. They're doing a great job as a duo. Also, in this top lane, to speak about it, Hero Combat's done a great job at evening out CS. Sure, he's going to have to back now and lose a little bit, but considering the amount of dominance that Helen should have in this matchup, Hero Combat has done a very solid job for himself. Now, here's the thing though, Hentai Haven, they have the lead now. This is a great position to be at in the game so far, but now they need to start converting those kills into objectives. The next time they make a play, maybe bot lane, mid lane, top lane, they want to convert it to the objective that they most closely can. We saw it a little bit in mid lane where they're able to get a few platings, but I want to see them go for this Inferno Drake. I want to see them go for the Rift Herald. Those are the key objectives on the Rift right now, and Hentai Haven should want to secure them soon. However, Cerberus, you know, they also want to secure them, and they're actually going to be hanging around this Inferno Drake for the time being. In fact, they're going to start it up. They know that Hentai Haven do not have any vision of this dragon. They know that the bot lane is backed off. In fact, this is going to be a free Inferno Drake going over to the Slowbros with no contention coming out from the side of Hentai Haven. We're going to see what they can do now that they've noticed it's really low. But yeah, the info gets secured, and that's going to be it. That's really bad for Hentai Haven. They should have had the priority with the kills that they have to put a lot of pressure down and put some squares. However, Titus, you've overextended there, buddy. There is a Kennen, a Vladimir, and a Rek'Sai there, all waiting to greet you. Force the flash out of wave that though. That's 4 people mid lane. And this means that Urgot's going to be able to score if he fights his top lane. It means that Vega Zyra are going to have instant priority bot lane soon. And that's all for a kill and a flash. So, sure, that's a big kill on Tatis. He's not going to be on the map for a while. But you are giving away a lot of this gold that you don't really want to give away to the likes of Victor Zyra, to the likes of Urgot. But overall, they're not losing a lot, so it's definitely in favor of the Slow Bros. Now, what I am worried for Hentai Haven is if you look at all the champions, you have Zyra, Victor, Valkors, Urgot, and Jarvan. Now, Jarvan is quite mobile. I'll give you that. Urgot can be mobile, but I really worry if we do see what Hentai Haven did last game, where someone like Florio oversteps a hell of a lot on his Valkors without the mobility in order to do so. That could lead to the downfall of Hentai Haven in this game. They need to make sure that we're always in safe positions, we're not going to get caught out, we're just able to pressure them safely. That's the advantage of picking all these mages, is that you're able to safely pressure from the distance and have the ability to slow down the enemy team, all in the same champion. The issue is, you sacrifice a lot of mobility for that, and so if they do get jumped on, if Rek'Sai is able to get a good unborrow onto them, if a good death sentence lands from C7, and then all of a sudden their plan of having all these mages up just kind of goes out the window. And so it's on Hentai Haven now to position well, to play decently, for Avante to get absolutely deleted in the mid lane, but Kuki's going to reply with a solo kill on the top lane. And that was like worrying. Hentai Haven have ditched his top lane. And that's not good. That really is not good. Because Kennen actually TPing into the bot lane now does not have the slicing mushroom available. It's just gonna have rooted up, so that TP means absolutely nothing. But I want them to shut down this Kennen stream. We've not seen Tartus really go top. We saw him try and make one gank happen, and we saw him throw out control board, and that was it. He's been very active on that, and he's done a great job at getting Florio ahead in the mid lane. But he hasn't really done much for poor Hero Complex. And Durga is now getting engaged in the bot lane. The execute has been procced, but he should be able to walk out of this one. And this might just come down, slows him down to flash forward from Cute Regular Boy, but I'm not sure that was the best idea. The Stranglethorn's gonna actually not look up anyone as Wave Lad able to use his ultimate correctly there. Hero Combat's looking to see if he can get a kill or two here. Wave Lad will be going low. There we go, the fear beyond death is so big. The triple fear is that Hero Combat's will get out with his life. The flash forward from Durga, he does not want him to escape. He is able to score the kill out. The shield kills through, meaning that Cutie is able to kill Tartus. That's a very, very wonky engage. And now the Slow Bros are starting to edge it out. That is not what you want as Hentai Haven. You overstep with those immobile champions, you will be punished. And now plating is galore in this bottom lane. And this Kennen is just getting more and more and more ahead. The gold lead between the top lane is already at pretty much 1k gold now. So that is a big deficit to overcome, especially when Hero Compass is not having any summons available to him right now. And this is why I wanted the jungle assistants coming in from top lane, because now that this Kennen's ahead, Kuki, we are aware that in the mid game, if you're trying to make fights around these objectives happen, and that Kennen, that slicing mushroom hits 3 people, 4 people, the fight's over. And that's a huge worry for Hentai Haven. And now that this Kennen is ahead, how are you going to be able to deal and stop his flanks? Because I'm looking at their team, and their amount of peel is not big whatsoever. And we're seeing right now the power of the Kennen. The slicing mushroom does come through. However, he's not able to burst down Cute. In fact, he's taking a lot of damage from Chaos Storm himself. And now we do see Adorable also showing up, so forcing Kuki out of this lane for the time being. C7 away with that. They're trying to force something here. The knockup does come through, but that is a 2v3 if my numbers are correct. But the Michael Mitigation Ray is actually going to be able to tag 2 people. But the Slowbros eventually are able to get out of this fight with a net gain. Now Kuki still going to be forced out by the Mitazura bot lane. But overall, it's an even trade. It's 2 for 2. And Duragay now could end up getting caught out. He has overstepped his boundaries here. He will be shut down from Florio. He is 3-0-3 right now. Florio is having a fantastic game for himself so far. He is at a 2k gold lead in this mid lane in that matchup alone. So he's doing very, very well. He's going to be able to score his mid lane tier 1. And now Florio certainly the man to watch as we head into these mid-game fights. He has so much damage available to himself, but also so much range that I want to see what the Cerberus can do to deal with Florio. Are they going to be able to get a good engage of C7 possibly? Try and get Kuki around the backside of the fight and then use the slicing motion? Are they going to try and throw a wavy lad in there? Like, there are so many ways they can try and engage on Florio, but it's seeing which one can work for them at the right time. Is going to be the exciting one. But now we're looking at a nice little wall in the game. We do see Rift Herald being took by the Slowbros, but Director Camera does not care about that. A C7 will possibly cut out there, but is not going to be. We do see 5 Slowbros members around this top lane. Tartus, you shouldn't have done that, but exercising Maelstrom is able to kill a Dorkable. Florio is able to get out with his life, but they should have checked the numbers advantage there. Did not have the correct amount of people to go for that. I mean, sure, Tartus is able to steal, but he isn't able to. He doesn't end up stealing anyways. Then the Rift Herald gets popped. We're gonna walk mid now, get that mid lane turret cracked open. And it's a real tough situation if you are in Cerberus shoes now. It's I mean you're ahead, like I don't think you're ahead even, but you have the tempo lead right now. You've used that Rift Herald effectively. You've used its push in. However, Hero Complex is being allowed back into this game slowly but surely. The thing is though, this is the point where the Cerberus are starting to win those fights. We have seen glimmers of hope for them, and now Kuki, he knows he wins this matchup. Hero Complex, he misses his knockback, and now Kuki, he's going to be forced out of the fight though. It's going to be a even trade in the bottom lane. Still a very, very even state of affairs so far. However, if we know the Slowbros, this is around about the time they start hard winning the fights, really big spikes, getting ahead. This is the point where we expect this team to come on. And so it's now going to be on players like C7 and Wavy Lad, Kuki to make those engages happen. We saw around Rift Herald, Kuki was able to make that slicing motion happen, and it meant that they won the fight, was able to get a kill, get Rift Herald, and therefore get the mid turn. It's those kind of engages that will win, but it will make or break this game based on how the Cerberus can engage onto all these mages. However, Wavy Lad could be in a little bit of a spot of bother, but is able to tunnel out of that one. And Hentai are finding a new issue now. They're putting a lot of members mid lane to TP's cancelled right by C7. But they're putting a lot of members mid lane to try and siege. The issue is they're trying to do that against a Sivir. And if anyone's playing against Sivir, you know she deletes waves. She eats waves for breakfast. And so whenever their minions crash, they're, as you see right here, they're just able to clear out the minions very, very easily, and it makes it so that Hentai Haven, they can't really push through mid lane, so they're gonna have to try and target a side lane. But they want to take 5v5 fights ideally because of the amount of mages they have, and it puts them in such an awkward situation where they can't force the fight in the area they want to. I'm just gonna have to see what they're able to do. Is it gonna be a little bit of a farm fiesta right now? We do see though that Slowbros have a lot of vision around this top side. They took complete control of the Baron vision in that river. So they've done a good job for themselves there. And it's this ward control that I want to focus on. The Slowbros are very good at getting that mid lane priority, walking into the river, getting your vision control, making sure that not only you have wards in that river, but also the opponent does not have vision in the river. And now, to Rugged Boy, he's going to be taking a lot of damage just in one death sentence. That's unfortunate from him. And those little picks, those little bits of damage give Slowbros that extra pressure to maintain the vision line, to keep their rivers watered. And that is so, so important. And maybe that able to secure the Lula for himself. But possible to engage mid lane. We do see Hero Complex chasing out Duragay. And we'll see if he's able to secure the kill. Does Duragay suspect anything? Oh, he's been killed, and that's it. That's unfortunate. I wanted to see something more exciting. The thing is, though, what do Hentai Haven do now? Because they're stuck in a very awkward position, like I talked about. They can't push in mid lane because Sivir exists. They can't push in side lanes, really, because they don't have the vision to support that. So it puts them in a spot where it's very hard for them to get out. What you'd want to see them do is, both sides think they can't really push because it's Sivir. Put a lot of your members, like 4 or 5 members mid. Push it out as best as you can, and then walk and get river control, sweep out the vision, and then get priority for yourself, because the Stobros are being allowed to just walk all over the river. Consistently sweep out vision, don't let Hentai Haven get anything, and it's choking them out of the game. And sure, whilst the Stobros haven't secured an objective yet, they're slowly but surely they're pushing in lanes, they're managing priority though, doing a good job here, and it means that they're now positioning themselves very well to take these objectives to look to force around something like this dragon, which it looks like Hentai Haven are starting up for themselves right now. However, here comes Kuki, decisive motion is going to hit a lot of people, gets 2 of them, the 2 mages have been struck down. Double kill going over to Kuki, and a flash onto Florio means that, well, he's going to survive, but the rest of his team, not so much. Tatis is incredibly low in this fight. However, we do see a good pickoff coming out there. Duragay is also incredibly low. We're going to see who takes out the site. It's going to be, yeah, it's going to be a Stobros. Hero Complex and Tatis is so low. And a failed flag of dragons. There is no escape for Tatis. It is an ace for the Slowbros. And now they'll be able to push in these side lanes, pressure the towns, and once again, get that priority that they need. And once again, the key player here has to be Kuki. Look at this man. He's 6-0-3 right now. It almost feels like I have deja vu from last game, where I looked away for a second, looked back, and he was fed. That's exactly what's happened here as well. The man is looking so strong, and you see it in his fights, the threat that Kuki has when he walks into these mages, because they don't have the mobility, they can't escape a slicing maelstrom if they're able to get a flank off. And the thing is, because of the Slowbros vision control, it means that Kuki is always able to get these flanks off, and there is no way that Hentai Haven can combat it. We're 23 minutes right now, and the Slowbros, they're sitting on a 3k goal lead. They have a lot of control across this whole map, and Hentai Haven, they really need to stop this bleeding. They need to find a way to get that vision control back for themselves, to regain a foothold on this map, because right now I'm really not seeing it. They're able to get some vision outside of the Baron Pit in their own jungle, but they need to really be pushing into that river at some point. The issue is you can't really do that when you can't see what's in the river, because then you have to worry about face checking them. Do you really want to face check a fresh Rek'Sai, Kennen? No, I mean, well, Kennen's not lame, but it's not something you really want to do, especially as these mages that are so immobile. And Rapante looking to see if he can make a play onto Florio, but couldn't get caught out himself. Casperson does come now. Rapante gonna be landed at that one. Wavy lad though, he is 1v4 in this situation, and Brooke will get the kill for herself. But the solo kill on the other side of the map, Kuki getting himself yet another kill on to Hero Complex, showing his 1v1 prowess. And the Slowbros, whilst they do lose their jungle there, they still maintain that control. And someone from the Slowbros, someone from Hentai Haven, is going to have to head down to that bot lane to deal with that Kennen, because he is going to be knocking down tiles like you don't know what. And Hentai Haven have got themselves in a really tough position here. because they just do not have the control to take these fights. I mean, you see, they have the damage available, they have the snowball, they have all of that, but they just don't have the vision. If they had the wards down, this would be a completely different game, because then it would be snowballs blocking in, trying to deal with all this damage coming through, but it's so hard to deal with there. And these snowballs have ways to get back. They have that Jarvan engage. They have the Urgot, who was he is very far behind. He is still that big tank who can sit and be the frontline that our team needs. But I don't know if I see it happening because the Cerberus, they're doing such a good job at choking out the vision that I don't know. It's just a slow burner right now, and it is. Oh, flag and drag gonna miss because of that pool. The Cataclysm is also coming out. It looks like Rapante is going to go down, and yes, Hentai Haven, proactive play on the top side of the map. They're able to push through, but now they have this priority top lane. Get priority mid lane, and then get wards around the Baron. Please, I wish they could just do that. But unfortunately, they're not able to, and so we're still gonna be stuck in this limbo where it's just gonna be the slow bros taking control, making plays, and Hero Complex. You can't take that fight, buddy. That's 1v3. He's caught out near his base, and the slow bros. Oh, I mean, Kuki has so much power in this 1v1 that I really don't think you can send Hero Complex on his own to deal with it. It's I mean, Kuki's just playing really well right now, and the thing is, he had the counter pick. He got the choice of that Kennen, and through that counter pick, he has took over this game, and this could have been stopped as well. Like you heard me at the start of the game, I really wanted Tartus to go top, shut down his Kennen before it became a threat. Unfortunately, the Kennen became a threat. And now we're seeing what it can do in the side lane. It is whooping Hero Complex's ass, and because of the pressure that Kuki has, it means that the Sobos have had a lot of priority to just walk in and get walls. However, praise the Lord, Hentai Haven, they've walked to the Subside River, they got themselves some vision. The Flash Cataclysm has forced a guy to flash himself, and now it looks like Hentai Haven, they're playing with a little bit of confidence. They want to take those fights that they haven't took for a while now. But despite their strong posturing, they're not able to score any kills or a big real team fight play. Meanwhile, also in the top lane, Vladimir is getting free CS, he's got a free tower. They're going to need to send someone to reply. However, the Ondo Henna has been pumped the flash forward. Does anything hit? No, it does not. The Slowbros try so desperately to force an engage. They burn C7's flash, they burn Kuki's flash, but unfortunately they're not able to secure an engage. I mean, they do manage to get 3 Hentai Haven flashes, which is pretty good value, but they're not able to get the kill themselves. And now, Hero Complex, he's taking so much damage. It seems like not only can he win a fight, can he not win a fight versus Kennen, but now this Vladimir is causing a lot of problems. Has the Rabadons, has the Protobell, is causing a lot of issues on the side lane. And now Duragai could potentially get engaged upon, but Tata is going to be taking critical. Here comes the teleport. This is so big from Kuki. Oh, it's a Kuki. It's Rapante. The same thing applies here. He gets the kill very easily. Flashes in. Here comes Kuki. And there you go. The fight's cleaned up pretty easy. The TP has been popped behind Kuki, but we should be able to survive this. Hero Complex diving in, but he has no one there to support him. The death sentence lands, and he is very likely going to be going down here. He goes so low. There we go. Yeah, he's gone. Kuki is legendary. He's 9-0-5, and we're now seeing the side of the servers. They're walking up to top lane, smashing down this turret. The Underhand Pop, the Dokabo has nowhere to go but the Shadow Realm. And with that inhibitor pop, we'll see what the Cerberus want to do. They very well could end here, but they're not going to opt to. They see that Baron and they're like, you know what? Let's just get the Baron. It's a safer call here. Let's not pressure this one too hard. but we're seeing the control that the Slowbros have just come to fruition. It seems that they're really good at finding these flanks, finding these mid-game fights, and it's such a big strength. I don't think I've seen a team like it in VL that's able to constantly pick these catch compositions, have this known across the VL community, like, okay, yeah, these guys play catch, and still, game after game after game, they're able to make these fights happen. Their mid-game spike is always where the biggest, and they're always able to capitalize on it. It's a wonder to watch, really, and they're going to be looking in strong stead heading towards the final if they're able to close out this game. Now, I'm always a fan of the whole never say never mentality. I'll always point to one of the 100 Cobra games where we were, we were 3 inhibs down. They had Baron buff, walking into our base, and I think they had Elder too. And then we won 3 fights in a row, and we won the game. That is still a possibility. It is still possible that Hentai Haven come back into this game. It just takes a few wonder fights. But this is not the wonder fight that they want. This is not the miracle play, because C7 has managed to pick off. Oh, that's a good catechism though. I'm going to interrupt myself there. Mario does go down. And Tatus and we forced to run away. The selection motion has been popped just to secure the kill onto the victor here. It is a 3-4-2. Not the most awful of trades, but not what Hentai Haven will particularly be looking for. We do see a possible flank opportunity from the Hentai Haven people. But we do see the Slowbros, they are starting to push into the enemy base. They took one Nexus Tower. They're forcing the Desperation play out of Hentai Haven. They've already got 1 kill out of it. Tatus gonna get a knockup, but he's gonna go down too. The ace has come through, and that will be it. The Slowbros, they are heading into the finals of VL. They came into this as a completely unknown team, and now they stand 1 match away from VL glory. Well played to the Slowbros, and they are moving on. Of course, commiserations to Hentai Haven. They had a good run. They finished 2nd in Group B and did get to the VL semi-finals. There will still be a 3rd place match, so it won't be the end of Hentai Haven for you guys to see them. But this will be the end of the semi-final for now. No, I'm going to quickly point out MVP. I don't think there's much of a question here. Kuki, over the 2 games, I don't think he died once, and he got at least over like 20-something kills. The guy was bonkers, and both games, he was just impossible to shut down. Always got these lane leads, dominated the side lane, was able to get huge flanks off, and that was the Sobros. They really did a smash that top lane and the whole game really. So my MVP has to go there. Once again, well played for the Sobros. Commiserations to Hentai Haven. They had a good run making the semi-finals, and they still have that 3rd place match to go. But that will be bye from me for now. Thanks everyone for coming along and watching the stream. Had a little bit of a cluster mess of a cast soloing it, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I tried my best. So yeah, I'll see you guys when I see you next, and don't forget to tune in for these finals, because if the Slowbros continue on their pace, it's going to be such a spicy final, man. I'm so excited. So yeah, see you guys.
Messing with my head again. You had your heart set on me, but these feels, they come and go, and they come so easily. Tell me what it is about you that I can't forget, but you're breaking down my walls again just to set me free. Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the staying up when I go out. You gotta know I'm all yours. But when I say what's that about, you start slurring your words. Tell me why you have to seem so distant when I'm holding you. Your fingertips are drifting away, and I fucking love how it hurts. Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you always leave me? Why do I, baby, why do I love the touch but never love the feeling? Why do I, baby, why do I love the way you
Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me. So alive, make it last forever. Stop in time, yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me.
I recall the past again tonight. It's in the front of my mind. As we fall apart, you begin to cry. The tears are making you blind. The future's far away, but I will stay. I will stay. Just take a leap of faith. We'll find a way for you and me. Can't look back and run from what I feel inside. There's no more time to hide, because I feel again. I feel again. Oh, now I picking up where we left, off and on again. We never quite could forget, 'cause what we got so intense. I feel it again, I feel it again, I feel it again. We're bringing this back to life.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa. And if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to see. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah. Yeah, I've discussed it with myself, and I'm disgusted with the way we're told to have a certain face, a certain weight because we aren't pixels on a screen. No, we're human, we breathe. Every single thing we see curated, it's overrated. These expectations, they keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa. And if I say it open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight,